Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, this is going to be a little bit different than what we're used to. Typically, I'll share a play and go over some offenses or defensive set or something like that, and it's a shorter video. This will be a little bit longer, but it's going to dive into identifying coaching styles for you and your players. So everybody who is coaching, especially new, you struggle sometimes with identifying what's going to work best for you. You see a lot of different types of coaches, as you see here. Comment below if you know who this is, which if you're coaching basketball, I'm assuming that you do. And also comment something funny about whenever this guy won a national championship. If anyone remembers I'll give you a hint, one shining moment on the TV when they played the other team. So I'll go over that at the end kind of as a bonus. But so we're going to talk about some different types of coaching styles. We're going to talk about the differences between them, and we're going to go over basically how to identify what's going to work best for you, and I'll kind of reveal what my coaching style is as well. All right, guys, so here are some different types of coaching styles that you can use in sports, and this came from a basic Google search that you can click or you type in. And the first one is democratic, and democratic is a flexible style that encourages teamwork and open communication, allows athletes and teams to set their own goals. Democratic coaches may make suggestions and then listen to the feedback of their athletes. So this one here is more in a sense of if you have an older group of kids, depending on your environment, they might be well behaved, they might be really highly motivated to be where they are and have a high IQ of the game. They like to stay in the gym, they like to watch film of their own, and they're very creative, they're very smart. In this sense, you're basically, you're guiding these kids where to go, but you give them a lot of feedback. Second one is holistic. Some say this is the most effective style for improving athletes' performance both on and off of the field. This is basically taking an approach of like the big picture, mind and body. We're not just worried about basketball, we're worried about everything. We want to know how things are going at home. We want to know about how things are going in the classroom, personal life. What's your mindset on the team? What do you like to do outside of basketball? Autocratic, this is a style that is characterized by the phrase my way or the highway. Autocratic coaches make decisions with little or no input from their players, may give instructions without asking for their input. However, they may later encourage feedback and questions. So again, the easiest way to say that is it's my way or the highway type thing, okay? Mindful. This style coach encourages athletes to develop self-awareness, coping mechanisms, and ways to reduce stress and anxiety. When done well, it can lead to increased focus and sense of peace. All right, so teaching these kids how to mentally prepare for the game, teaching them if they have a bad game or a bad quarter or bad practice, what are some ways to kind of get back on the wagon and focus and put the first things first. And also pregame, a lot of stress and anxiety. How can they kind of get past that aspect of the game? Okay. Vision. This style provides athletes with a defined goal and tactics for achieving them and incorporates feedback and reflection and dialogue. So basically teaching these kids how to, again, it's more of a mental type thing of, putting the first things first, beginning with the end in mind type mindset in that aspect. So that bodes the question, which one are you, and how do you identify what's going to be the best for your particular group? So let's talk about that. So which one are you? Which style popped out to you in a sense of, man, that sounds like me, or that sounds like a coach that I had? To find your style, here's what I would suggest is, one, like I said, think about former coaches that you've had and see if any of these things stood out of what we talked about. Okay, write those down on one side, and then maybe do like a 3-tier chart of like, these are the coaching styles on one side, and then in the middle you can put that as positives. On the right side put negatives, and see which ones give you more positives than negatives on those particular styles. Also see which one that you've done in the past, if you've been coaching for a while, and do the same with that particular chart and see what type of positive aspects or outcomes that you've had with those styles and what type of negatives, and be really open-minded to what you see on paper. Okay. 2, think about your clientele that you're working with on the court or on the field or whoever you're coaching, because everyone's a little different. Every group that you have is different. Even if you're at the same school year to year, the personalities change somewhat, along with the faces, and you have to be mindful of what you have to do in order for them to succeed, while maintaining a level of basically dominance in that role. You want to be the person that has the highest say, and you want to also implement whatever style you're doing with the kids into your coaching, because everyone has to be kind of on the same page. You don't want to undermine, your coach's opinions. However, you don't want them to undermine you as well. So you have to maintain some type of stature of, hey, I'm in charge. But if if the coaches are working with you, for sure, if they're highly qualified, you want to make sure that you're open to some feedback. And that, again, that depends on the clientele you have. If you have some new coaches, you may be more of a autocratic type style, to where you're actually coaching them and teaching them, and you're saying, this is how I want it done. I need you to go do it. And until they start kind of earning their stripes, and then you kind of get some more feedback. And I think that comes with experience too in your players. A new player, you're not going to really be open to much feedback as much as you would like a 4-year guy, because they don't have as much experience. They're coming in green and they're there to learn, right? So that's kind of, in a sense, in my opinion, what to do to try to figure out what's the best type of approach. When I started coaching, it was more here, okay, because I was coaching a younger group, the autocratic. I was coaching more of a younger group that was hungry, but really green, didn't really know much. So it was more or less my way or the highway type deal, because I knew how things were supposed to be done. I don't care about your opinion, because you don't know more than I do, and we're going to do it this way. And we saw tremendous results, okay? And as they got older, it kind of changed a little bit, in the sense of you start gaining more trust with them, because they have more experience and more knowledge from their time with you. And whenever I had my first group, my first real group, like I was for a job, I tried using this here, and I noticed that the clientele was completely different. I mean, these kids were super inexperienced, not as highly motivated, and so I had to kind of change some things to where I had to be more mindful. I had to be more of a visionary. I had to, I had to kind of work some of these things in. And as my coaching career increased and the longevity of my coaching career happened and things have changed, I had to evolve as well, to where basically my style is basically all of these rolled into one. I don't know what you would call that, but that's basically what it is, because there's at times I have to be this. Okay, I have to come in and say, this is what's happening. I don't care if you like it or not. This is what we're doing, because I see something that these kids don't see, or my coaches don't see. And that's happened several times, including last year when, we're going to state, and me and my coaches were meeting on the game plan, and they were fighting me on something that we were going to do. And I said, I promise you, I see something here. I've studied this way more than you. It's going to be this way, and we're going to ride or die with it because I have that much faith in it, because I knew that I'd watched 10 times more film than they have, and I should have, because I'm the person in charge. So we went with it. And however, in the process of implementing that particular defense, I was getting feedback from the players, and we tweaked some things depending on how they felt comfortable in order for them to succeed. So, and that's, again, it comes with experience. So when I took over a high school group, I was more here because these kids were less experienced. And as they got more experience and as we got better, I implemented more of this here, because now they're getting more experience. They're putting in a lot of work, a lot of time. And so I'm going to be more open-minded to listen to them, because they're working extremely hard. And if I do nothing but bring them down and tell them no, 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 and if they're giving me valid points on, can we do this drill, can we do it this way, that way, if I don't listen to them, then their morale is going to go down. They're going to feel like, man, this kind of stinks because I'm working really hard. And and it kind of gives them ownership as they begin to really take pride and ownership in their work. And I think that should be definitely recognized on their part. And for sure, this here is super important, because you want to make sure that you're, overall well-being, big picture type thing for that athlete. You don't want to just make it nothing just about basketball. You want to make sure that you're spending time with those kids. Even if it's at the gym, you're walking around talking to them, asking them how their day went, how's their grades. If you know something happened to them as of late, just kind of go off to the side while they're shooting around, check in on them, things of that nature. Do some team building activities as well. And that's a good way to kind of get to know everybody. Mindfulness, the self-awareness, and the vision. You want to teach these kids how to do those types of things, because that's something that they're going to use outside of basketball. And it's something that I use in coaching. So why would I not implement that into my team? And we do that from time to time. Every day after practice, we end practice in prayer, and we talk about how to be self-aware. We have team meetings. We talk about some things that we can do to be self-aware as far as increasing our IQ. We talk about how to reduce that stress and anxiety. We do spend some time with players on that, because you're going to have some players that are super, super stressed and anxious just by nature, and that's going to carry over into the court. So you have to be able to identify, these kids are high strung on their grades because they care about that. Well, if they care about basketball, then obviously they're going to be a little bit more high strung on basketball, because it's something they care about, and they want to make sure that they do the best that they possibly can. So teaching them how to be the best that they can by assigning them roles is something good. Like, hey, this is what I need you to do. Boom, boom, boom. Worry about doing those 3 things really well. Everything else will take care of itself. And then relating the vision. Obviously, that's a big thing that you want to do. But I would say, again, I'm more of kind of everything rolled into one. And it takes time to develop how to become everything rolled into one. Obviously, you're going to see some things that work, that don't work, that help you, that don't help you, and make the team better and make the team not better. But you need to really be aware and monitor the progress of your team, and seeing what's working, what's not working, and don't be afraid to change while also maintaining that level of control of the group. And my thing is, I always make sure that I put myself in their shoes, and that I understand that I'm an educator first above anything else, and then from there everything kind of takes its course and falls into place, because the court is my classroom, is the way I look at it. So anyway, guys, I hope this helped. I know it's a little bit longer than you are accustomed to, but I'm hoping that it gave you some good feedback. Let me know your comments below and questions. Other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.